choosing the right solution. Apparel retailers, brands, and suppliers face risk at every turn in today's complex global supply chain. More and more, we know that retailers and brands that are working with EC Vision are doing business with partners outside of their traditional comfort zone. Agility and collaboration are essential to mitigating risk when dealing with customers, factories, and all the other key parties in different languages and in different time zones. And in order to maintain both of these critical features of a successful supply chain, you need to implement a platform that facilitates collaboration and shares the information across the retail ecosystem. I can't say these 2 points enough. The technology solution needed for this method of risk management has to have the ability to collect timely, accurate, and network-based data, whether it be in real time or near real time. And with that data, you can make fact-based, timely supply chain decisions. These are the key. Now I know you've all spent billions of dollars on PDM, ERP, transportation, warehouse management, all those other, let's call them big data systems. Now in order to effectively use the information that's extracted from those existing applications, a new class of software and process needs to be implemented. Gartner clearly states that a growing percentage of enterprises will rethink their supply chain execution software portfolios and adopt a cross-functional platform system that truly integrates end-to-end business processes. And that's what we're talking about here. As a leading collaborative platform provider, EC Vision is creating a trend that we call supply chain convergence. By converging content from multiple technology sources and service providers, it'll become easier for information to be mined and value derived. More importantly, this information can be used to collaborate with suppliers at every tier. And this gives you, the retailer, the ability to effectively manage the supply stream by weighing the options when making choices that have a better outcome. So let's wrap this up. In conclusion, it's a given that global sourcing is complicated apparel and footwear supply chains with an array of risks and variables that have to be managed. Whether you manage them proactively or reactively or a combination of both, you need to avoid disruptions similar to the ones that we've experienced in the last 3 years. And in order to ensure risk is minimized in your supply chain, you need to implement process and technology changes that identify the risk, utilize the best approach to reduce each type of risk, and then analyze future risk through strong reporting, and collaborate with the parties in your supply chain for early visibility and agility to react before, during, and after disruption. So that wraps up the formal session, and I'd like to see if we have any questions that have come in. Feel free to send any questions through the question chat box. Okay, one did come in earlier while we were chatting. So how does your product enable collaboration? Collaboration, boy, a word that I used over 100 times during the last 20 minutes because we really feel that collaboration is important. So how do we enable collaboration? Aside from the collaborative tools that are inherent to our platform, discussion tracking, workflow tracking, all of the other, basic tools that come in our system, the common access across the entire retail ecosystem, so tying all of your parties together and getting all of your parties on a single solution, it creates that environment of open communication. Sometimes people ask me, how do I define collaboration? And I define collaboration as opening those lines of communication. Instead of a one-way flow of communication, you're now communicating multilaterally. And that's the key to effective collaboration with your suppliers. Any other questions? What is that exclamation? Okay. So one last question. What are the first steps to diversify my supplier base? Okay, I talked about supplier diversification, and as it is a current trend, and I'm sure we're all experiencing the need and to shift to other different regions. Now, we believe at EC Vision the first step would be using some of the strong reports and the views that we offer in EC Vision Suite. With these reports and these views using our visibility tool, it can show you where your supplier base is not only located, but where their suppliers are located. So what the views do, it shows you the supply stream and the feeder streams that are coming into that. For instance, where are my factories and where are the mills or tanneries that support my factories? So with this view, you can mitigate risk. If you can identify where there's going to be a problem, or if you can track a trend historically that's been a problem from a certain region or area. And then by mapping and locating your suppliers and their feeder streams, you can mitigate risk by moving those around. So once you've identified this, you then have the means to analyze if, for instance, you're too heavy in certain regions or too reliant on a small set of suppliers. And these are characteristics that could be a concern in the future. When you look at those established trends, you can look at performance or missed milestones and see if they're focused on certain suppliers or regions, for example. And with the reports, you can then analyze your need to diversify. So this is what we believe are the first steps to a supplier diversification program.